the very good fortune and honor to represent the American Society of International Law. The main reason that I am here right now is to read the fourth Chautauqua Declaration. This is the declaration that behind closed doors outside the public sessions, the prosecutors seated on either side of me have been working to come up with a declaration about the state, the present state, and hope-filled future of international criminal justice. And so I'd like to read it, and then they will sign it and perhaps say a word or two, if they like. The fourth Chautauqua Declaration, August 31, 2010.
You said that.
Perfect.
That would be my Greek chorus. In the spirit of humanity and peace, the assembled current and former international prosecutors and their representatives here at the Chautauqua Institution, recognizing the continuing need for justice and the rule of law as the foundation to international security, and cognizant of the legacy of all those who preceded us at Nuremberg and elsewhere, do recognize the 10th anniversary of the Robert H. Jackson Center and its important mandate to preserve, promote, and advance the legacy of Justice Robert Jackson through education, exhibits, and events, which emphasize the current relevance of Jackson's ideas on individual freedom and justice. Honor the life of our colleague and friend, Whitney R. Harris, a prosecutor of the International Military Tribunal at Nuremberg, who passed away this year. Commend his drive and force in ensuring that the spirit of Nuremberg continued, and note the awarding posthumously to Whitney Harris of the first annual Joshua Hines Humanitarian Award for Distinguished Service to Mankind. Applaud the efforts of the state's parties to the Rome Statute and other delegations in Kampala this year in their willingness to openly take stock in the progress of international criminal law in general and the concrete recommendations to ensure justice for victims of international crimes, and for reaching consensus on a definition of the crime of aggression and for the determination to press for the appropriate mechanisms for its enforcement and prosecution. Noting that after 30 years of impunity, the first judgment has been rendered in respect of the crimes of the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia. Reflecting upon the 15th anniversary of the genocide at Srebrenica and the continuing need for the accountability of those responsible, expressing concern at the continuing plight of civilians caught up in armed conflict, and particularly for those crimes committed against women and children, now do call upon the international community to keep the spirit of the Nuremberg principles alive by ensuring the enforcement of the laws of armed conflict, and in particular those relating to the protection of civilians, calling upon parties in armed conflict to respect international law applicable to the rights and protection of women and girls, ensuring that gender crimes are investigated and prosecuted appropriately, states refraining from the use or threat of armed force and settling their disputes by peaceful means and in accordance with the United Nations Charter and international law, supporting and adequately funding the tribunals and courts in their work to maintain the rule of law at both the international and the domestic level, implementing their obligations under international law in the sharing of information, investigating, prosecuting, or transferring to an appropriate judicial body those who violate international criminal law in order to ensure accountability of all persons, including sitting heads of state, considering the adoption of a Convention on the Suppression and Punishment of the Crimes Against Humanity, signed in mutual witness, Fatou Bensouda of the International Criminal Court, David M. Crane, Special Court for Sierra Leone, Serge Brammertz, International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, Benjamin Ferencz, International Military Tribunal at Nuremberg, Richard Goldstone, International Criminal Tribunals for Rwanda and the former Yugoslavia, Andrew Cayley, Extraordinary Chambers in the Courts of Cambodia, Brenda Hollis, Special Court for Sierra Leone, Bongani Majola, International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, and Robert Petit, extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia. I'm now going to stand up and have each of the prosecutors sign the document. Thank you.
Yeah, you want to give it to me? I'll give it to you.
Thank you. With that, we conclude this ceremony and also adjourn the 4th International Humanitarian Law Dialogues, looking forward to the 5th event next year. Thank you.